Good morning, folks. How you doing? It's me, Paddy from Across the Shuck, and you're very welcome back to the channel. And you've seen the title. It's a bit of a clicky bit sort of a title, but you know, I don't give two bucks. The knife has to be good, and that's a sort of play. I can only speak as a foreigner, right? I'm from the UK, so the American knives are still foreign knives to me. No matter what they are to anybody else, they're a foreign knife, and I don't buy knives just because of where they're from anybody. So Buck has been one of those companies that I've taken quite a long, slow. I've taken a very long, slow run at it. It took me about 6 years to buy a Buck 110, and before I bought it, I think no, it's too big for me. I'm not gonna like it. But I thought, well, I suppose I have to for the channel. The worst decision I've ever made in knives is when I say I have to for the channel, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to like that knife. The Buck 110 came, and I knew it didn't last. I think it lasted about a month and it was gone again. It was just too big and cumbersome to put in the pocket. And well, it's a locking knife, so, you know, it's not legal here. I just didn't get it. It was a well-made big knife. It wasn't as if I got a bad one. It was well made. And I liked the look. The blade shape is lovely. Uh, and they've come in with the modern ones now, but they brought the modern Buck 110s and 112s, and they put the new clip point in it. I don't like the new clip point. It's terrible to me. I just think that it's taken away that traditional look. So I haven't bought any of them. I got this after I got rid of the Buck 110. I got this lovely. This is a Buck Stockman, and it's a three layer, but it's a nice thin three layer. You wouldn't, that's not much thicker than most two-layer knives. And what it takes away, it takes the blade rubs away. You've got a knife there's plenty of room. The channels are all equal. There isn't any blade rub, I don't think, at any of these, which is just lovely. So I really appreciate that. They're not over thick, but they've got a hollow grind which takes away. That just makes up for it. I mean, the hollow grind is just beautiful on them. This is just in some form of plastic. I'm not sure what it is. This is an American made one. I'm not too keen on collecting the Chinese versions of them. I'm collecting them because they're American, and I love American knives, especially the old traditional ones. I really just love them. I think they're some of the nicest out there. But I've really enjoyed this. I love this. I think it's a really nice, well made, well constructed um, pocket knife. I love it. And then just recently, and I haven't even done a review on it yet, I managed to get this. Excuse that, I wrecked that myself. There's a story that will go with it when I do the review on it. But I'm not doing the review on this until I get it outside in the woods and in the forest, wherever I'm going, and I get to use it. But that blade shape is just, when I look at that, I just think Buck immediately. Absolutely immediately. I love that blade shape. And this is the Buck 112, so it's a bit shorter. I've got a full grip. Do you know what I mean? My hand fits perfectly on here. Large hands on there, but a smaller hand or an even slightly bigger hand you could get on there. It is stunning. The grind is beautiful. It came really, really sharp. Beautiful. I'm over the moon with it. And this is an S30V, which is Boss heat treated, which elevates it beyond. So we all know that sort of thing. So I'm really pleased I got this now. Um, I don't know what it is. That inch or so difference makes all the difference to me. This feels like a knife I want to use and really just have no worries about what it's going to do for me. So I got that. But the knife I'm going to talk about today is going to saunter in now. You see that? We play words again. Oh, I'm very quick this morning. This is the Buck Saunter. This is a modern knife with modern materials made by Buck. Can you see how dirty this knife is? It's micarta. It didn't come to me like this. I bought this second hand, but it didn't come this date. I have actually used a living. It's just a fantastic slip joint. It really is fantastic. I think I've said this about another knife. I can't remember which one it was, but this to me is what the Benchmade proper should have been, as far as the mechanism goes. If they had done this, I can't believe that a big as company as Benchmade has left a beautiful knife with the most pathetic backspring I've ever seen. And they haven't even bothered trying to change it. They just bloomin' left it because people who like Benchmade will buy. And that's what I sort of mean is I'm not going to buy a knife just because it's American. Benchmade's a company I love. You know, I've got a couple of their knives there. Love them. Great knives. But that proper is something they threw out and thought, oh, that'll do. And they keep throwing it out and people keep buying it, but nobody's saying, no, fix a backspring on it. It would make that an amazing knife. This is, I'm over the moon. I seen Slippy do the review on this one. Matt over at Slip Joint Sawyer. He done a review and I thought, that looks nice. Is it for me? I just didn't know. And then I got this and it was because of his review. I'd seen it and I liked his review on it. He was really raving about it. But that's what sold it. That's what sold it. It's so simple. That is what sold it. There's no half stop. But this here, just when you get a slip joint that does that, I'm sold. It's an auditory selling signal for me. Just when I see a slip joint that has that beautiful a lockup, it really is lovely. And there you go. It's S30V. No, it's not S30V. This is a 154 cm. Absolutely fantastic steel for a slip joint. For any knife, it's a lovely steel. Takes a wicked polish. Takes a really screaming edge with no effort at all. A super steel to have on a knife. Well, not super steel, but it's not a powdered metal steel. It's, you know, it's still a steel. But the looks of it, I've really grown to like. Really have grown to like. In the hand, look at this. Like it's a bar shape handle. All right, you have nice rounded bits here, but it's just a bar shape. There's nothing dramatic about it. Simple shape. Justin was talking about it last night. Sometimes the simple shape is just perfect. I have a large hand. My little finger rests on this back end of this rounded. So I have got a fully spread out 4-fingered hand on this little pocket knife. And the blade length on this, the cutting edge on this, is about 2.25. No, it's not 2.25, just a bit less than 2.25 actually. Stephen, what are you doing? I have no idea. What do you think I'm doing? No idea. It's about, yeah, it is about 2.25. Where am I measuring to? I'm honestly, I scare myself. It's about 2 3/8 cutting edge, which is absolutely fine for my everyday use. But when you take the length of the handle, look how much they could have put in there. There's your handle there. Now the blades, it could have gone up another, took it up to 2.5. I think no problem. They could have worked that in there. But again, that's not going to matter to me. I don't need a big blade to do my day's work. This is a perfect main EDC knife for me. You know, I'll always carry another one as well. I usually have 2 knives on me, if not 3. But I just adore this. The micarta is very soft feeling. It's not like any other micarta I have. It's a very soft feeling micarta. They're not rounded. This is like a hollow cut here, and this is rounded here. But in the hand, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. No pocket clip. Fantastic. It doesn't need a pocket clip. You can put it in a slip if you wanted, but to be honest with me, that I just love this micarta, and I know it's filthy, and I suppose you could wipe it clean, but this is it really has turned into one of my favourite little work knives. I really do like it. Now, is this knife perfect? No, it's not perfect, but for the price it comes in at, it's just about passable. I'm never keen on this rounded tang. I always love a square tang. But, you know, it's done well enough. There's no big gap. There's no big gaps at all. It's very thin little. And I think they're more Hafton issues. Although, no. But it's absolutely perfect. Nice little lanyard loop right at the back so the lanyard comes straight out. I don't like it when the lanyards get stuck on the top here and you have that at the back of your hand. But it's hafted really well. Full liners on it. Just love it. Here's the bits that bug me. Look at that, how rough that is around there. And the other screws are not any. You see how rough? I don't know whether that's just micarta and you can't get it. Although I do have micarta knives that are not rough at all like that. In fact, there's an Arthur Wright one, which is a really, a much cheaper. They can do that, but there's a screwed construction. So I must check my other screws if I've got any other screws, because it just seems a bit rough. Maybe that's just the way my micarta is, but to me it just doesn't look well. It doesn't sit with me well. I don't know why, but it looks rough, as if it's just been cut roughly and stuck in there. That's really the only fault I have got with this knife. The edge came really sharp, which I'm really glad to see. I love the long pull there. I think that looks nice. I like the clip. I'd love it to sweep up a bit more, but you get what you get. Do you know what I mean? But for me, as a modern slip joint, this just fantastic. They're about 129 on Heine at the moment over here in the UK. I'm sure they're a lot cheaper in the States. But would I recommend this knife? Absolutely. It really is a lovely knife. And I'm just going to put down, we'll take that big dollar out of the way there. I'm going to put down some other knives that I've got in it. I'll put this here and I'll put these on top then. Because these are about the same size. They're slip joints in micarta. This one's burlap micarta. This is Arthur Wright. Nearly exactly the same size, except it's a bit, you can see just how thick behind the edge that is compared to that. Can you? Let me just get this up in the light. It's much thicker at the base. It flares out there. It's a big handful compared to that. Really is a lovely handful. But, this knife's only about 40 quid. I think aesthetically, and that's because I'm a slip joint man, this looks better. But for what you get in the micarta and the blade steel of 154, absolutely fast. This is a very basic carbon steel. Or no, this is 01. No, carbon. Sorry, just a basic carbon steel. So it's a lot cheaper. It'll not hold an edge anywhere near as long as this. But again, for me, that I'm a sharpener, so that doesn't really matter. But it illustrates that you can get a company like Buck and they can go and make a modern knife. And you have about the same blade cutting edge. This is one of my favorite knives to use. The blade cutting edge is a little bit longer on this, but not very much. Not very much at all. But it is a gorgeous knife. Another one that I want to put with it is the Rough Rider. And this is the Reserve, Rough Rider Reserve. Again, look at that for length. Oh, there we go. Lengthwise, near enough exactly the same length. Bigger blade on this as well. Not by a whole lot on this one. You've got a bigger ricasso on this one. But this is micarta. And this is the only thing with this. If you don't like dirt, I don't know whether that would put people off. Maybe it would. It doesn't me, because to me it's just like patina. 154 stainless, so it's not going to give me patina. But this is in D2, so this is a more of a chance of rusting than this would. And this is probably about half the price of this. But is it worth the £129 because it's Buck? If I was American, the answer would be absolutely yes, because I think Buck are one of the oldest family-run business left in the world. I mean, they're one of the longest, I should say, longest that have been in production in one family in the world, and that's something to be proud of. They now seem to be. There seemed to be a period there that they didn't really move. They just kept putting out the same thing. But this last couple of years, they've been bringing out. God, they've even got Magna cutting a Buck 110 now, and they've got it in a little one of their smaller pen knives, the Prince or something it's called. It looks fantastic, and that's my goal. That's my goal this year, is to get the wooden handled Magna cut version. I think it's a Prince or so. It's one of them ones. They're all named sort of royalty type names. But this has really just blown me away at how much I love it. So I hate to agree with Matt Sawyer. That's terrible. Life is coming to an end. But as Matt, thank you for doing your review, because it was your review and just hearing that sound and you talking about the knife that made me eventually get it. I thought about it for a while and tried to resist it, but glad I got it. I'm really glad to have it in the collection. So my book collection is growing. The next thing I want to see there this year is that small little prints in Magna Cut down there. And then I'll only need one more and I will have a sub-collection of buck knives. Took me a while, but I'm happy I waited because I've now got exactly what I want. All right, folks, that's the end of your little video today. One other little announcement I want to make is, do you remember the story about this? Well, if you don't, I'll tell you when I'm doing the video. I took this off. It has been well and truly battered. I have actually worked on this side and tried it. It was just, this is sharpened on the side of a curb, everything. Not my knife. I took it off the person who gave it to me to sharpen and gave them a brand new one in D2 because I couldn't see them going back out the door with that. But I'm going to use this as my sharpening knife. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get the sharpening video done today or tomorrow, but then I'm also going to use this as a, let's do it up nicely. Let's try and make it look a bit nicer, give it a clean up, and see how it goes. So there you go. That's a Ka-Bar Dozier. That's going to be this week's sharpening because it's in Oz 8, which I know some people, I get quite a few people saying, oh, I can't get Oz 8 sharp. Well, you know, we'll just have a go and we'll see what it's like. I know I have in the past, but I haven't tried. Oh, well, obviously, this one is absolutely, I can move my hand up and down there and open it up with my fingers. It's just, and this bloke was actually using this in work, and he had done for about 10 years. He's had this in work. He was a labourer down the caravan park, but I'll tell you the story when I'm doing the clean up of it. There you go, folks. Thank you very much. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video, if not tonight, if I get round to doing it. Take care. Bye-bye now.